meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council of the Borough of Seaside Park in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, held on Thursday, March 7th, 2024, advertised to begin at the conclusion of the work session, which has just ended moments ago. Pursuant to the provisions of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting was properly provided by transmitting the notice of the meeting for publication to the Asbury Park Press and the Star Ledger on January 5th, 2024. Notice of this meeting in the governing body also has been posted in the corridor of the municipal building and in the office of the municipal clerk. Roll call.
Councilmember Anaville?
Present.
Councilmember Condos?
And she is out of state this evening. She'd given us advance notice.
Thank you. Councilmember Connor?
Here.
Councilmember Kraft?
Here.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Here.
Council President Wilk?
Here.
Mayor Peterson?
Here.
Thank you.
Let us all rise now for a moment of silence to be followed by our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first item on the agenda this evening, and we have a special guest as well related to this, we have a mayoral proclamation, and it is for National Library Week, which is April 7th to April 13th, 2024. And with us this evening to accept the proclamation from our town and our governing body and community, we have the new branch manager of the Upper Shores branch of the Ocean County Library, and she is Sloan Boyce, who's here in the back, and I'll have her come up and I'll present this to her on behalf of our town. And as long as I don't have my mirror glasses, which I think I can do, this is, whereas the libraries offer the opportunity for everyone to connect with others, learn new skills, and pursue their passions, no matter when or where they are, rather, on life's journey. And whereas libraries have long served as trusted institutions, striving to ensure equitable access to information and services for all members of the community, regardless of race, ethnicity, creed, ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or socioeconomic status. And whereas libraries adapt to the ever-changing needs of their communities, developing and expanding collections, programs, and services that are as diverse as the population they serve, whereas libraries are accessible and inclusive places that promote a sense of local connection, advancing understanding, civic engagement, and shared community goals, whereas libraries play a pivotal role in economic development by providing resources and support for job seekers, entrepreneurs, and small businesses, thus contributing to local prosperity and growth, and whereas libraries make choices that are good for the environment and make sense economically, creating thriving communities for a better tomorrow, and whereas libraries are treasured institutions that preserve our collective heritage and knowledge, safeguarding both physical and digital resources for present and future generations, and whereas libraries are an essential public good and fundamental institutions in democratic societies working to improve society, protect the rights to education and literacy, and to promote the free exchange of information and ideas for all, and whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers are joining library supporters and advocates across this nation to celebrate National Library Week. And now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor John A. Peterson, Jr., on behalf of our governing body, proclaim National Library Week, April 7th to 13th, 2024. And during this week, I would encourage all residents to visit their libraries, which in our case obviously is the upper shores. And I've already shared, we all welcome you and we thank you for all the wonderful programs. That branch actually leads the way with a lot of fine programs. And we all celebrate the adventures and opportunities that unlock for us every day. Ready, set, library.
Thank you so much. I'm the new branch manager at the library. Been there for a few months now, so just thank you. I'm not from this area, so I feel very welcome now in this community. Everyone has been amazing who comes in there, and I encourage you to come check out our calendar of events and see what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you very
so
much.
much.
Welcome. The next item on the agenda are the minutes, and we have February 15th, 2024 work session, February 15th, 2024 regular meeting. Any questions, comments from the governing body, or if not, a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Kraft.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Rotunda. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda,
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Council President Wilk,
Yes.
motion approved.
And next are special meeting minutes. Those are the meeting, special meeting, January 8th, 2024, February 6th, 2024. Any questions, comments from council, or if not, a motion?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion by Council President Wilk,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember Amabile. Roll call.
Council President Wilk,
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda,
Yes.
motion approved.
Next are ordinances. The first is final reading and adoption, ordinance 22401, amending ordinance 22009 of the borough, finally adopted on September 24th, 2020, providing for the construction of Phase 3A water main replacement project and Phase 3B water main replacement project, and providing for the issuance of $4,999,132 in bonds or notes of the borough to finance the same. Any questions, comments from council? If not, we'll go into the audience for any comments at final reading, hearing, and adoption of ordinance 22401. Hearing none, I would close the public hearing, and I'd entertain a motion from the council.
So moved, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Kraft,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember Connor. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda,
Yes.
Council President Wilk,
Yes.
motion approved.
And next is final reading and adoption. It's ordinance 22402, capital ordinance of the Borough of Seaside, Park County, Ocean State of New Jersey, appropriating $25,000 for water meters. Any questions, comments from council as per the introduction session and prior meetings where this was discussed?
I just wanted to mention, Mayor, that the 25,000 are for water meters that are associated with the Ocean Avenue Phase 3B project that's ongoing now.
Thank you. Ken. Anything else from council? If not, I'll go into the audience. Any comments on final reading and adoption ordinance 22402? Hearing none, I would close the public hearing, and I'd entertain a motion from council for adoption.
So moved, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Kraft, second by Council President Wilk. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Council President Wilk,
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda,
Yes.
motion approved.
Next, final reading and adoption, it's ordinance 22403, amending chapter 435 entitled Vehicles and Traffic, Article Roman numeral 8, Schedule Roman numeral 6 of the Code of the Borough of Seaside Park entitled One-Way Streets designated, this in particular reestablishing Second Avenue as a one-way street, and there was some discussion at the work session. This
entails the two 15-minute parking spaces, which at this juncture would be eliminated in terms of the overall positive benefits of the ordinance. That's the proposal. I know our attorney will reach out to the JIF as to whether or not the borough should or could consider further any modification in terms of the state statute with the stop sign. Anything else from council for final reading and adoption? Hearing none, I'll go into the audience for any public questions, comments. Final reading and adoption ordinance 22403. Yes, Dave?
Yes. I have a question. There's a big problem. You're
Have to
saying
give your
that-
name, Ms.
Okay,
Harry.
21 I Street, I'm sorry. There was big discussion about these two parking spaces because of the stop sign. Isn't there a stop sign there already? Doesn't every street going on to Central have a stop sign?
The stop sign is the other direction, that's the problem. It's changing the direction now, and there's a driveway apron of the motel or hotel right across the street, so you can't have a stop sign there. That's the
You
problem.
just replace the stop sign that's there with a new stop sign.
Going the other way. Yeah, this changes it used to be a two-way street, and now it's going to be just one way.
Right, and if it's a two-way street, it will be coming out onto 37. Am I correct?
35, yes,
35.
yes.
Okay. Isn't there a stop sign there?
It's the engineer indicates it would have to be, this would be to eliminate the two spaces. I don't know, Karen?
Because with a one-way street, you have a stop sign on both sides, because a person can get on the right side and go right, or get on the left side and go left. So we'll have to add a stop sign to the left side, which is right next to the white oak liquor, where there's two parking spaces
two
on there.
stop signs.
Oh, okay.
Any
So
second?
do all our one-way streets have two stop signs at the end of them?
They do.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments, final reading of ordinance 22403? Hearing none, I'd close the public hearing. I'd entertain a motion from the council.
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Connor,
And I'll second that.
second by Council President Wilk. Roll call.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Council President Wilk,
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda,
Yes.
motion approved.
Next is first reading and introduction. It's ordinance 22404, capital ordinance of the Borough of Seaside Park, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appropriating $101,000 for multi-mats on the beach access points at various streets, picking up where the town had left off the last year session, as per the work session. Any other questions, comments from council members? If not, do we have a motion for first reading?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember
I'll
Anfield,
definitely second that.
second by Councilmember Connor. Roll call.
Councilmember Anfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda,
Yes.
Council President Wilk,
Yes.
motion approved.
And next are authorizations. I'll read them in summary fashion. First is Seaside Park Yacht Club Family Fun Walk Run 3K, 5K, June 23rd, 2024, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. The location is the Boardwalk, 13th Avenue to J Street. Any approval must have a condition that it would also be conditioned upon obtaining a Ocean County permit. The second is sixth annual Valor Supplements Police and Fire 5K, date May 25th, 2024, time 8 a.m. to 12 noon, location Boardwalk, Stockton Avenue to 14th Avenue. The next Toms River Elite Baseball, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, from March 8th to May 10th, location, also time, 4:30 to 7:30, location 13th Avenue Ball Field. Next, Seaside Park PTA Easter Egg Hunt, March 24th, 2024, 12 noon to 2 p.m., location 5th Avenue Beach. Next, Ocean County St. Patrick's Day Parade, March 9th, time 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., locations, various locations, J Street, K Street, L, M, N, Lafayette, Decatur, Stockton, and Farragut Avenues. Any questions, comments from council on any of the items, or if not?
I have a comment on the Seaside Park Yacht Club. Their certificate of liability insurance expired March 1st of this year, so it should be done on the condition that they have their certificate renewed.
So that's an added condition then, if that's to be approved, that's the county approval now plus a updated certificate of insurance naming the town as an additional insured.
Yes.
Any other questions, comments, or if not, a motion?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion by Council President Wilk.
Second.
With the two conditions on the one as indicated, second by Councilmember Rotunda. Roll call?
Council President Wilk,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda,
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
motion approved.
And next are payment of claims, 224-105, it's approving payment, the itemized bill list claims set forth on the check registered bill list for the period of time February 16th to March 7th, 2024. Any questions, comments from council, or if not, a motion?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Kraft,
I'll second that.
second by Council President Wilk. Roll call?
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Council President Wilk,
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda,
Yes.
motion approved.
And the next are resolutions. I'll read in summary fashion, 224-106, authorizing the cancellation of designated tax accounts. 107, resolution of the Borough of Seaside Park providing for a single and combined issue of general obligation bonds, authorizing the sale of up to $5,012,000 principal amount of general obligation bonds, Series 224, authorizing advertisement of a notice of sale, authorizing the chief financial officer to sell and award the bonds, determining the form and other details of the bonds, and authorizing other matters related thereto. 108, authorizing the municipal recycling coordinator to submit the 2023 recycling tonnage grant application to the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection Agency. 109, authorizing Remington and Vernick engineers to provide engineering services to complete NJIB nano application. 110, appointing Joe Toth as beach control manager. 111, appointing James Rankin as lifeguard captain. 112, authorizing Remington Vernick engineers to provide engineering services for tax map maintenance revisions for the tax year 2024. 113, authorizing the Borough of Seaside Park to solicit bids for the lease of the property owned by the Borough of Seaside Park, known as N Street Bathhouse Building, Garage Number 2, for storage use and beach vending of ice cream and water. 114, authorizing the chief financial officer to sign the purchase order from R. Kremer and Son Marine Contractors, LLC. Any further questions, comments from any council members on any resolutions?
No.
Yes. No. It's our practice, though not required by law, we do allow any public comments on any resolutions if anyone has any. I would entertain same. Hearing none, I will close the public portion, and I'd entertain the application as a consent agenda for the approval of the resolutions.
So
We have a
moved.
motion by Councilmember
I'll
Kraft,
second that.
second by Councilmember Connor. Roll call?
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember
Yes.
Anfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda,
Yes.
Council President Wilk,
Yes.
motion approved.
And that concludes the written agenda. Anyone else on council at this juncture? I know we had the one verbal approval from the work session that, not necessarily a resolution per se, but we did want to move ahead with the engineer for the reasons stated.
Yes.
That was, I know Bill and Marty had the summary indications of that for the rationale. That was running, no, that was having Steve Schreiber from T&M convert over the current application for Boardwalk into an application before the I-Bank. And the related issue, I know we wanted to okay and give the authorization to go ahead with the other portion. That was the seeking the CAFA permit for the Boardwalk. So perhaps to err on the side of caution, I would entertain a motion from the council to approve such a resolution. Motion by Councilmember Connor. Second. Second by Councilmember Rotunda. Roll call.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda,
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Council President Wilk,
Yes.
motion approved.
Anything else from council?
Yeah, I guess it may be obvious, but I'm just saying, back to Second Avenue, new striping, whatever is needed, one-way street signs, there's more than just the one stop sign, just to add that in, that everyone's aware, the street has to be made legal to the state. So whatever would need to be done, the striping of the street and everything would have to be changed.
Yes.
Everyone's on board with it.
And it's probably given, but in terms of announcements from the governing body, as per the approval just given for the upcoming events, we have 2 days from now the St. Patrick's Day parade, and I know a lot of us are participating in one way or the other for various groups, and members of the governing body as well, including myself, hoping not to have a rainy. And we've had sleet over the years and snow, so I don't know. It doesn't sound great, but
It should be fine.
yeah, I think it's going to hold off. That's, I'll be optimistic.
Can it be worse than last year?
Off the top. Well, the sleet ones were worse. That was cold rain. So, anything else from council? If not, we'll go into the audience. If there are any public comments, if you have any, if you could give your name and address to the record. Yes.
Denise Chuck, 1807 Lakeview Avenue. I'd like to, I submitted to Karen some information that we'd like to submit for consideration to the mayor and council. Did you pass that on to?
I did.
I did, okay, so you don't need copies. The property on 3rd and Central is under discussion for upcoming opportunities, and I think a nice opportunity for the residents and visitors of our area would be a recreational area. And proposal was to include pickleball courts, bocce courts, horseshoe courts, and if not that, it would be other type of entertainment for people to come and enjoy the property. I'd like to hear your views on what you think of that idea of using that for recreation for our residents to use all year long. As a senior community during the year, we're always looking for things to do outside. We don't want to be inside, we want to be outside. So we would have the opportunity to use that facility all year long. It seems like a great opportunity for visitors to come and enjoy our property, and I'd like to know what the thoughts are.
Certainly, we're in the process now of gathering any and all proposals and looking at costs, all the ramifications in terms of zoning, drainage, all the issues, and that certainly is one of them in terms of general recreation. We've talked about that in the past, so I don't know what Karen has, but we'll certainly put that with the others and give it full consideration.
Yeah, it was emailed out to the full governing body. I mean, if you have copies there.
I do have
Denise,
copies.
you want
I saw it, it had all the different,
I didn't see
Karen will leave it with you.
to- Okay.
oh, yeah. You had bocce ball, and you had.
Yeah, and it could be, shuffleboard, it can be cornhole, but I think outdoor recreation is something our town needs. And that has a various, usage where it's just not one thing, it's several things.
Yeah.
And I just, I think we're gonna move forward on doing something. I think we need a recreation area that serves a lot of people local use.
It's certainly not a bad idea at all. So, and the mayor's right, we have just talked about it, you know, not officially, but yeah, I got this on email. No, I mean, it's marvelous. I mean,
It's a shame to see that property not being used, where, you know, we could be enjoying it all through the year.
no, I mean, hands down, yeah, thank you.
All right,
Yes.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Yes, sir.
Tom Joseph, 704 South Bayview Avenue. Last July 4th, my wife and I went out on our balcony to watch fireworks, because of course you could see them all up and down the bay. And she looked over and said, "Oh, look at that, they turned off the lights on the Fifth Avenue Pier to make it easier to see the fireworks." Unfortunately, the lights never got turned back on, and I think you may be aware, it's now 8 months later, a full solid 8 months, and I walked by there on the way over to this meeting, and it is dark, it is dreary, it is not a place anybody would want to be after the sun was down. Our lighted Fifth Avenue Pier is a really nice feature here, especially in the summer. There are no handrails around that pier all the way out. When it's dark, I don't know how safe it is. I really think it's a useful feature. I want to encourage you guys on the governing body to find a solution to getting the lights back on. I understand that JCP&L doesn't want to manage this anymore, but I really think it's a feature that this town has. It's a very positive thing. So whatever we can do, I understand there are a variety of engineering firms that we hire that could put together a plan for getting the lights back on.
We've already engaged a firm to do that.
Excellent. I just want to encourage it. I'd like to see it happen before this summer season, if that's at all possible.
Well, that's what we're trying to get done.
I don't know how much money's involved, and obviously, but I really think it's something we ought to do, and that's all I wanted to say.
We all agree with you.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Yes, Michelle?
Michelle Miller, 1500 Lake Avenue. Which council member is responsible for the crescent status?
Karen has, I wasn't part of that meeting. Karen had a meeting on that, I believe. Is that what you're referring to, where we're at with the crescents?
Well, we submitted something before Christmas. Karen did get, an answer from Doug. But, not only Karen, it would be nice if there was someone else on the council that would be.
I was on there, but I asked Karen to give me the brief on that the other day, but I spent under 2 hours with her, and it was not enough time to go over everything, I'm gonna be honest with you. I did ask Karen the other day specifically on that,
Okay.
but it was on my list, and we could not fulfill that list of questions that I had.
Since you were.
It wasn't meant that it wasn't important,
Right.
just that it took longer than expected for the meeting.
Did you get a chance to see a revised plan of what we wanted there? Because we toned it down so that it would meet the regulations by DOT and by using every other street.
I did know all of that, yes.
Oh, okay.
I do know all of that.
All that was submitted to DOT, they left our application open, that was all resubmitted to DOT last Friday, along with Andy's drawings of the crescents and the types of plantings that are desired, because we had to amend our initial application, so that was done last Friday.
Well, my reason for bringing it up is that there'd be somebody else on the council that would help keep this thing rolling forward. My other question is, comment. I do believe that the taxpayers, for the community, there's been a lot of extra pickleball courts being built in the other surrounding towns in the summertime. They're well used with waiting lines, and would like you to, to consider that. And you have the plans, and it does include that with, a couple of other things which are great. And there's benches on there too, which is wonderful. Speaking of fees, I think it was brought up before, we had asked, how much revenue did we get from the beach badges?
I don't know if
It was 1.8, like 10, something like that.
I don't know if
1.8.
or 1.9 million.
Yeah, 1.9 million from all the badge sales, ramp fees,
Okay,
1.9 million altogether, roughly.
good,
Not roughly, it's 1.9 million.
all right. And thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Yes.
Hi, Holly Byrne, 18 Brighton. I have a couple of questions. With regard to the parking, the paid parking, I've lived here 24 years plus, and I've noticed that the parking spots, the paid parking spots, really aren't utilized except for the main holidays, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, and such. The residents, I'm on the beach block, and 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, as most of you know too, parking's done. Day hoppers are coming over. What I'm finding is it's usually, I've gotten to know firsthand a lot of the, excuse me, the people who are coming over. They have suggested to me, that I suggest to mayor and council, have you considered maybe a season parking pass for the people who come over on a regular basis, similar to a pass that gets you into Island Beach for the season? I know I have I at least have 4 friends that would be willing to pay. They said up to $200 to have a season's pass, which would guarantee them coming over from Toms River, Manchester, Whiting, so that they could come to their beloved Seaside Park and park, and not be, you know, I mean, I'm holding spots for them. So that was one suggestion too. My thoughts on that were it's money up front, rain or shine, you still have the money, as opposed to a week of rain and nobody's paying for parking. But it's been my experience that other than people who are desperate for a spot on the holidays or when Island Beach closes, 99% of people are coming over and hitting the residence streets first, which is kind of unfair to us too. My other concern is, can we?
We have such an ordinance in place,
As far as,
a seasonal pass for
Seasonal
parking.
pass?
I'm just trying to pull it up. Yeah.
oh, okay,
We do have that.
that would be great.
They're
That would
not-
be great.
they're
They
not
suggested
purchased,
it's
though.
I think we only sold like a handful.
We sold a handful.
for the season, like for
Yeah.
the summer of 24?
Who knows?
I was gonna say, they don't, the people.
For years. In years.
That we've had seasons pass?
Yeah.
We tried it, I remember we tried
I
it.
need Steve. Steve finds them.
So,
How much was it? How much? you
That's
know,
what I'm- that's what I'm
I've never
looking
heard
for.
about it. $100 for the
Two
season?
$275.
it's,
And that entitles them to park in the numbered parking spots? Any of the numbered parking
Yep.
spots?
Yep.
Okay. And that's still available now? Is that something through the website, the town's website?
it was never taken off the book.
Oh,
It's never been taken off the book. It's there. We could,
You just,
we could get limited input.
right?
Mr. Mayor, I remember we tried that with the, with the,
We tried again.
remember,
with that.
Bill, we did that with,
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Matt DeMichael's, may he rest in peace, and we didn't sell any.
It was like.
We thought it would be a good
I don't think
idea.
anybody knows about it.
We advertised, this is 4 years ago.
Right,
We
yeah.
didn't sell any, so I think we dropped it. We never took it off the books, so I guess we could reinstate it if the council wants to do it.
Speaking of advertising,
300 now. Yeah,
There you go.
it's a good idea.
I'm sure
We
people
tried.
would consider it as opposed to, you know, coming over here not and spending, like I said, I live on Brighton, which is a one-way, that's a whole other subject. I see people rolling down that street and I almost want to put like a lot full sign on there at 8:15. Don't even come down Brighton, go to find another street because we're packed. Speaking of advertising, not that I think it's advertising, but that board as you come into town, which kind of should be notifying people what's going on. The only thing I ever see up there is senior luncheon, and it's usually in size 9 font, so if you're doing 25, 30 miles an hour, like there goes the sign. So I think there's a lot of good things going on in this town that us full-timers really don't know about unless you're kind of in the know or you're running into somebody who kind of tells you things like that too. So if we could be a little more proactive in displaying on that, is there someone in charge of that sign who's in charge of putting up information on that sign besides, you know, you do see like flea market, farmer's market, you know, things like that.
The sign itself, the flashing sign or?
No, the one by the marina, the one by,
Okay,
right on the corner of I and Central, on that one there, it's a big white board, it says
Yes, now I
nothing
know.
all the time, so come into our boring little town where nothing's ever happening, but there are things that are happening. With regard to the parking too, I don't know if this is your jurisdiction, or maybe it's beach or whatever, what about the lifeguards and the badge checkers? They have nowhere to park. There are some days where, and they can't park in the paid parking, obviously, so they're coming down the side streets. And I know last year, a few times when the guards left to go to lunch, they lost their spot because someone's, tailing them to take the spot, and then they've got to drive around to get back to that chair. Can we give them a placard or something that says lifeguard on duty, badge checker on duty? And on the days where there is nobody the length of Ocean Avenue parked, can they park in a paid parking spot so that they can get back to their job? I've watched this all summer. They've used my driveway, they've parked across my driveway. I mean, I've allowed it because I feel bad for them. They're hopping around, they get there, they try to leave or whatever, and then they come back. One woman last year, her mother was dropping her off so her mother could park her car, so her mother could go to her car, which was 2 blocks over. That was insane. So is there something that Beach Patrol can do to have the guards and the badge checkers have guaranteed parking? I mean, they are working, the beaches, they are working in town, so for them to be driving down to Central or parking Bayside and hoof it up the street to get to the chair, is there something that can be considered for that?
It could be considered, there's a lengthy history about this very discussion in the past.
I'll just put that out there for thoughts and everything. Moby mats.
If ever done, it would have to be enacted by an ordinance of.
Because years ago, there used to be
public hearing.
placards in the windshield, lifeguard on duty, and they did park right off the entrances to whatever beaches they were working. I mean, I go back to the day where my kids were guards and they biked, because we were in town. They could just bike to whatever beach they were set on that day. But we have a lot of guards that are coming from out of town, so they're driving. And, I mean, they're getting there early enough to find parking, but if they have to move for a lunch or something. Moby mats, I heard the discussion before that I believe all. Okay, does that include Brighton Avenue? Because I've heard for years Brighton can't be, because it's an access road, we can't put one, the mat's gonna get destroyed. To which I say bananas, because if you go to Ocean Beach, Silver Beach, up to Point Pleasant, all their access openings for trucks, garbage trucks, delivery of guard chairs and beach boxes, they go right over the Moby mats too. So I just wanted to know if Brighton was on the list as getting one, because that's a pretty steep entrance, pretty long and steep entrance for a lot of our elderly and challenged people too. Do we know if Brighton is on here? We don't know?
I don't think so.
We just blanketing all of them? Or is
I
somebody-
don't believe Brighton's.
I don't believe
No,
Brighton is
Brighton-
on there for the very reason that you've said, that is for the recommendation of Public Works.
Yeah, I don't believe
That's my understanding.
They can go over those mats though, they can. I know, and I've heard discussion that they destroy them, but Ocean Beach has them, Silver Beach has them, all the way up on the coast, the access roads have them too, the access openings to the beaches have them. So,
I don't know what they can tolerate.
right, it's tough, right, it's a tough entrance. All right, and lastly, I just want to piggyback what Denise Chuck said as far as that open space where the Park Avenue apartment was too. I think there needs to be consideration, because I've heard discussion that there's going to be pop-up shops or food trucks put on there and things like that. I feel like we have the J Street Marina property for that, and we have even in front of this, right here on Fifth Avenue. Those, I think, would be better opportunities for something a little more temporary and kind of, seasonal thing, whereas there's a lot of people who are choosing this town to be their permanent residence, giving up their primary homes. I know post-COVID, a lot of people decided to retire here, and it is considered to be a retirement community, but you have to offer the people something to do. Not everybody hops, in their car and goes to Florida for 5 months. There's a lot of us who are here permanently and are looking for things to do outside. We're an active adult area here that we'd like to, like I said, from a community standpoint, social, just to get out and be with people in town and things like that too. I think that would just be a great use of space to consider using it more as a recreational place. We tout ourselves as a family-friendly resort. Regarding beach and bay, after 5 o'clock at night, not everybody hits a bar or a restaurant. You want to do something with your families. This would be a great place to kind of locate and do something like that. Thank you.
Thanks now.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Yes, Chuck?
Chuck Appleby, 215 10th Avenue. I needed a used car, so I did what I always do. I went over to the Death Valley, the retirement communities, to find an old lady that had a car. That's how I do that. But I went over there and I saw all the different courts that they have. So for ideas, to just go over to the clubhouses over there, whether it's a pool or whatever at the retirement facility, they just have some great designs that they put a lot of effort into for these type of courts and stuff like that. So I think it would be a really good idea to just go over and take a look. A lot of craftsmanship goes in there. I'm sure Marty could figure that out. But they're really nice and they're well utilized, so it would be something good for the town for those different lots.
You sent me those pics?
Yeah, I sent
You sent, yeah, thanks, yeah, so.
what is it? The other thing was the VRBO, the short-term rentals and stuff. Has the town looked into any of that? Because I really think that that's a hot issue coming up in the next few years. A lot of people come in, they rent with 2 couples and they end up having 4 cars come in. It's all part of the same thing that we talked about. But I do think if we could rein in some of the short-term rentals, I think it would help across the board in a lot of different ways. So I'm just going to encourage that. I think I'll go to the planning board, I guess, and bring it up.
Do you have any gut reaction, what might be a reasonable, like, I know that's been the debate in town, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 days, a long weekend, that kind of
I did
thing?
think about it, and I decided that I wanted to maintain friendships in town, so I didn't want to come up with that. I figured you guys could do
We're
it.
the bad guys.
Chuck, everybody's demanding you about parking,
I
don't
know.
worry about it.
Nobody will win over this. Hard decisions that you have to do, so I would say defer to the planning board to try to come up with some recommendations on this issue, and then bring it to a consensus and move forward with it, because these are big issues all around the country right now, and I think it would make a better place. My own I go to vacation in the Florida Keys, and for years, and it's a 1-month minimum rental. So people, I mention that, and people are like, oh my God, but it's a 1-month rental. That I have to rent for a month. That's why I have to take a month off to go on vacation. So I think that's important to look at that time and see what works best for the town and the homeowners, but not so much businesses, but homeowners that rent their homes. That's where I would focus it for that period of time. So, thank you.
Thanks, Chuck. Any other public comments? Yes, Michelle?
In response to that, there's a lot of people who feel 1 week is a good amount. It cuts off those weekends or 1 or 2, days. They come, they don't care, the garbage is a problem. So, actually, the 3 of us think that 1 week is fine.
7 days.
It's minimum.
7 days.
7 days.
Any other public comments? Thank you. Hearing none, I'll close the public portion unless anyone else from council has anything. I'd entertain a motion for
Can I make
adjournment.
one comment, Mr. Mayor?
Sure.
Seaside Park is hiring lifeguards. If anybody wants a lifeguard job, Seaside Park I talked to the captain today. If you want a lifeguard job, young man, you got a place to park. You got a place to park.
Walk up the street.
You just walk up the street, so we are hiring lifeguards.
I know.
Take the girls to bed. Take the girls to bed.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion by Council President Wilk,
I'll
second
second.
by Councilmember Anfield. Roll call.
Council President Wilk,
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotenbeck,
Yes.
motion approved.
Thank you, and thank everybody for coming out this evening.